Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Right, today is Monday. We're right back to the top of the workshop looking at the top performing map at the moment, and it's this one, and it's a little gem. It is a little gem. It's absolutely taken me by surprise. It's got a real unusual feel to it in the way that we have the river running almost parallel with the shoreline, along with a couple of extra little rivers in there as well. It's also got a feature area that I nearly missed, because you look at it and you think, oh, there's nothing going on there. And then you go and have a look and you go, oh, hello. Now, it's a little bit weird and a little bit fantastical, but it's right in the corner. So actually, I approve and I appreciate. And the proving and appreciating are two things to support the channel. The best one, though, of course, is the daily reminder. That's right, clicking that like button ready to support the channel gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's map is Cugassdanox by OlexX or OlexX. I think OlexX is the way I'm going. I think that's how I went last time we had them on the channel. More about that in a moment. Start square, it looks very interesting. There is a talking point there, but we'll look at that when we do the flyover. Terrain heights, lots of flat buildable space in the 25 tiles with some rivers and the hill there to break it up. We have got strong resources throughout, and that's a good thing. And then if you happen to have Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, you've got a mix of all the fish. All of the fish are in there, tucked away one place or another. Okay, off to the workshop. Well, what do we need? Well, it's a mass transit map. You will need mass transit for this one. There's a mention to snowfall in the description about if you haven't got it, you will get some error messages. Well, yeah, but snowfall isn't really required. I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't. If you don't have certain DLCs and you try and do certain things, then certain things will happen. That's how it is. We've got the intersection marking tool and no controller are listed there as well today. Then we have the one-click collection, which includes the Bay Bridge, beautiful Bay Bridge, a few trees and stuff. We'll be using the European, or the OlexX European theme mix. That's the one, which I'll read through the themes in a moment. And also part of that theme mix is a relight average LUT, which is the relight LUT. The LUT that we'll be using is the relight average LUT. Get the words out. There's that bridge, beautifully done. No complaints with this. I'll let you admire it while I carry on talking. The theme mix includes the realistic 1.4.5 European, Aguil Vert, Farmland European, New Caledonia custom pavements, Not So Rocky European, and the realistic 1.5.5 temperate. All of those things mixed together to see what we're seeing here. Yeah, now I mentioned the relight average because relight is actually listed into the description, but it's not included in the one-click collection. So it is there, but you do need to have the ability to read to find it. And of course the intersection marking tool. If you don't have the intersection marking tool, always say this one. If you don't have it and you don't have no controller, this map will still load absolutely fine, but you won't get all of the pretty intersections. It'll just be a little bit more mundane, a little bit more vanilla-y, with shoulders and lanes merging like that. But with the extra mod, or the mod overwrites these, and you just get these really slick, very pretty intersections. And again, there's a lot of pretty and slick going on with today's map. Next intersection coming down here, it's one of these three-way splitters. And again, that's another very pretty thing with some very pretty rock work in the middle. It's kind of a fantastical, realistic feeling, but fantastical map today. So we'll let them have that. The bridges, though, on the map, if anything, the one thing I would change are the bridges. Again, they're consistent across the map, so consistency breeds belief that... Oh, and also look at the road layout. Hang on, let's have a look at the road layout. I was talking about this, didn't I? Now, have a look. Once you connect those up, there might seem to be a shortcut from here, avoiding the other intersection there. Now, if you do that, you may have a lot of traffic going through your city, but I can't see that being quicker going through the city, and also with the toll booths there as well. Just be a little bit careful when building through your city, just to make sure you haven't made the roads going through the middle of the city super fast as a way of bypassing this intersection up here. I don't see it being a problem, but it could be if you're a bad builder. Just something to consider, okay? Something to think about. Anyway, another very pretty intersections today, very slickly done, and some very strong work. Now, it's not the first time for OlexX on the channel. You may recognise their name, and me not working out how to say the name last time either. Next intersection there, sort of a parkload, sort of. Anyway, the last time was episode 1302, where they didn't get any stars at all. And there's a very acceptable reason for that. It wasn't a map, it was an asset. They make assets as well. That was the 2x2 fountain functional unique, or unique, because the P was a Q, or the Q was a P even. But yes, all of the bridges, apart from that last one possibly, I've just noticed that last one there, all of them have the pillars centered in the middle of the road, and so it doesn't stagger the road. And I often share my how to make perfect bridges, but of course in that my example bridge doesn't stagger the road. So I appreciate that at the time that I made that tutorial, oh hang on, rail goes right the way through that. I'm going to avoid that mountain. We're going to go around the mountain, mini mountain that we got there. So yes, I appreciate that I'm not exactly teaching best practice, but hey, we all improve all of the time. If I ever remake that video, which I probably won't, it'll be to today's standards. Anyway, if we follow the rail this way, there's a little spur that goes off that way with a couple of dead ends down by a potential harbour area, which we're not even going to look at today. And then the rail comes back across the rocky area there, nicely done rock detailing. A little elevated section over the sunken section, and then we come back down to this junction, which goes the other side of that mountain. So we were able to not go through the scary tunnel. The tunnel wasn't scary, but it was just showing you that it was a different way and a route, and we got some interesting routing on the rail, and I approve of all of it. It's just very slick, slightly fantastical, but not stupid. And sometimes you get that with fantastical maps. You go, well, why is that rail going over the mountain? Well, it's a fantasy map, BonBon. Yeah, I know, but why is it going over the mountain? My grumble, if anything, is this junction here, where we have some fairly steep slopes. We've got a fairly steep slope going on, coming up the single track there, and another one going through into the tunnel there. It's a bit on the steepish side. A few of you won't care. A few of you will say that's a big problem. No catenary chaos though, which is, again, it's not a problem for most of you, but one or two of you are always looking out for those things, especially on BonBonBingo. Those of you with BonBonBingo cards, link is in the description. Catenary chaos can be checked off today for me mentioning it, even though we didn't have any. Unless, of course, you are playing strictly by your own rules, and that's perfectly allowed. I don't care. Because what you do in the privacy of your own home is absolutely fine. Anyway, following the rail now down the side of the river, there are a couple of other routes we could take, but again with the highways we're not going to follow every road, just trying to give you a feel for the map down at ground level, and not a single encroaching branch line, not a single one, nor a trunk road. Let's take a brief intermission. We come right back after this message. Are you a fan of the show? Well, I guess if you're watching this, you really must be. And as you've made it through 1,000 reviews, it's time to really treat yourself. To emblazon yourself with all 1,000 thumbnails in one great garment. From the makers of WhatMap, it's the official WhatMap 1000 t-shirt. Get yours now. And so back to Cugassdanox by OlexX and the shipping routes, which are fine actually. They look a little bit convoluted from above, but they will cover every angle, and convoluted does not equal bad. It just is. I tried to find a way that didn't work, and it works in every way. So yeah, it's just a bit more complicated than it really needed to be. Water flow, we've got strong water flow through the river, and so there is that. Into the start square there, you can see we've got the flow, but we've also got some pipes down. Now, pipes down normally means a good thing. We do have a water tower down here. Obviously, we've got a bit of a sewage backup actually by the toll booths, but there's a water tower there which is fine. That'll provide you a start over there, but also the sewage outflow is all the way down here, right at the edge of the map, which is a good thing, I feel. Right there, no power to it though, and have a look, we have the windmills. So what's going on with the windmills and the power? Well, they're not connected. As a boo-boo. Again, I don't feel it's going to really affect gameplay. It's a little bit of a bug, a bit of an annoyance, but yes, it's not anything that will break the game because we have water flow in the start square. But yeah, if you're going to put that in, at least make it work, please. Anyway, loving the shape. I'm loving the shape that the river follows parallel with the coast. It's just very different, and I like it. It's been just, and again, fits really well with the 25 tiles. Networking on it as well is good, strong networking, and again, I've got 0 complaints with that. Shapes of the mountains are pretty amazing too. Lots of unbuildable areas around the outside, but again, it's dramatic and it looks good, and we've got textures in there which Scott and Tom would be proud of. It's just going really to the next level. Loving lots of dotted lakes here and there. Again, in the fantasy map, they work. In a realistic map, you might question 1 or 2 of them. There's one in the mountains we might take a look at later, which is a questionable one, but again, it looks good, so I'm rolling with it on today's map. This dirt track is going up into the hills to have a little look at this prehistoric little site there. Why not? Why not? It's in a decent place. It's tucked away, and just adds a bit of interest to the map. Now, we have got another one of these rail junction things with the slopes, but it leads down to, everybody's favourite factory, and some nice detailing. Simple, straightforward, honest detailing down there. I'm happy with that. Looks alright. Looks good. Then heading up into the mountains, if we follow the rail here, like the way that the rail bridge has been done into the rocks there, having complaint about the road bridges, the rail bridges like that can be okay. Now if we head up into the mountains, we can follow the rail. It just pops out and then pops back in, like down here we've got tunnels which pops out of the rocks on that side as well. A bit of rock detailing around that, which is pretty decent, I've got to say. And then we've got some more rock detailing down here just to make the rail line a little bit more interesting. Many a lesser creator would just done nothing there, and so that's good to see as well. And here's that little lake in the mountains. I don't really buy into this one as a water source, but I like it and I'm happy to roll with it. So that's good. It's good. Now, speaking of water, the dry river system on this part of the map is quite extensive and quite convoluted and beautiful in the way that it's convoluted. I'm really loving this. OlexX, if you watch this, I am absolutely loving it. It's not just this river, but there's a whole network of rivers over here that just, like, again, fitting in nicely with the map, with the bends in, and it's just very slickly done. All credit for that, my friend. All credit for this as well. How often do we see a grounded ship and we go, why are you stuck there? Well, you can just see, imagine the high tide and then the low tide and it just gets grounded. I completely buy into that one. And then we've got a very strong river system as well. This is the one that's going to be running through your city centre, and just look at the shape of it. Absolutely glorious. Very nicely done, looks really strong, and again, it's going to add a real strong aesthetic to your city build. Lots to talk about, loving it. Got a few secondary rivers as well. Let's just take a look at this one. This is quite a major one, but it's tucked right away in the corner of the map. And the rock detailing over here as well just makes this river pop a little bit from the normal. It's quite short, tucked in the corner, and good work. Now to a little bit of extra detailing. We've got the vanilla pier tucked down here. This road going up the side, or footpath going up the side, feels a bit awkward. I'm going to be on it. That looks and feels a bit awkward, but once you get to the top, we then go into a little stuttered, slightly broken path. That's okay. That's all right. I don't mind that little thing. And then you end up at a strong castle. Okay. Now I can't fault the design. There's a lot of good work going in here. It's not my favourite castle I've ever seen, but it's one of those that I'm going to say, do you know what? I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. The rubble work there as well. Just it doesn't sing to me, that one. This sings to me. This is that area that I said I nearly bypassed, because just look, it's what? Hang on a second, what's going on here? We've got the machine gun post. Hang on, so that's how you get into the gun, through the wall. But what's going on with this wall? What is this? Is major. What are you protecting us from? When we look over there, we can't really see what we're being attacked by, but there was definitely something, because there's pockmarks over here. This is obviously a shell, so this is like boom, boom. Something's been bombing this, and I mean the ships. Look at the ships. We've got sunken ships here as well, a whole cluster of them. I don't know what this was, but we had basically a lost corner of the map. The OlexX has gone, do you know what? I'm going to do something with that. Nobody's going to build in the corner here. I'm going to make it look like it was attacked, and we have pockmarks. And we've got a big wall to defend the rest of our beautiful country over there. And do you know what? I like it. And I very nearly didn't see it because it's so big and so obvious. Anyway, back into the start square for today's asset of the day. It's the Brazilian train station Goiânia, possibly, by alexvibel. A beautiful Art Deco station, and that'll lead us to factoids, because factoids from Goiânia. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that badly, but yeah, my Portuguese is as good as my German. On September the 13th, 1987, an old medical radiation source was scavenged from an abandoned hospital in Goiânia, causing 4 deaths and many non-fatal cases of radiation poisoning. Several city blocks had to be demolished due to contamination. The International Atomic Energy Agency reported that the city and state officials acted with remarkable speed to prevent injury to the population. And so there you go. Little factoid from the city that this was built in. Now, the great asset. I'm just questioning about the LOD. It goes black from a certain distance, but I loving the shape of this one. If we can get a slightly better LOD, that would be amazing. Thanks, Alex. Great work. And so, yeah, you don't see the LOD because as I pull the camera back, got the logo over it. But yes, on the zoom in, you may have noticed it. You'll pause it, go through frame by frame, have a little look. Anyway, what do you think of today's map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Top 10 was out on Sunday for last month. Make sure you don't miss that one. I'll link it in the end of the show. Anyway, what do you think of today's map? All of that, all of the questions. Link is in the description and in the I button now. Anyway, what do you think of today's map, BonBonB? I don't know. Let me think. I like it. You know I liked it. I like it. It's strong. It's aesthetically very strong. It's got a strong design. It looks very, very pretty. I don't think we're quite at 5-star level, but I'm going to go for a pretty high 4 stars. It's strong. Good work. OlexX, be proud. Like it. Detailing. Again, it's very strong. I think the bridges, the road bridges, I'm going to have to knock it down a little bit. There are more points to be had, but it's a very strong 4-star map. Gameplay potential, I would give 5 stars for this one, but I'm actually going to penalise for the water pumping, the sewage outlet not having power, and where it should have power by your own design. So I'm going to punish you for that, but it's still a very high 4-star map. Cugassdanox by OlexX is a little gem, and you should take all of the credit, the seal of approval, and a standing round of applause from anybody who's watching today's show. That was a very impressive debut. Not your first map. We've got that one on the list of things to do, and so consider that one a priority, because I think we need to do that one urgently. Anyway, thanks for watching, for commenting, for liking, and for subscribing. Get into the habit. Join the 20 and now elite and use the word of the day in the comments. And also become a BonBonBuddy. Join that list of Patreon supporters. A link is in the description. I've been BonBonB. You've been very, very welcome. I'll see you again very, very soon.